Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are going to talk about the origin and mythos of giants. Before we get started with the video, don't forget to smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. Giants were a race of extraordinary power and aggression despite their small size. They were famous for their battle with the Olympian gods, known as the Gigantomachy. The giants, according to Hesiod, were Gaia's progeny, produced from the blood that fell when Uranus was castrated by his Titan son, Cronus. Gigantes is shown in archaic and classical art as a man-sized hoplite, heavily armed ancient Greek foot warriors, totally human in form. Later depictions depict Gigantes with snakes for legs. Later stories confuse the giants with other Olympian opponents, particularly the Titans, an earlier group of enormous and powerful children of Gaia and Uranus. Origins. The word Gigantes is commonly understood to mean born on Earth, and Hesiod's theogony makes this clear by having the giants be the progeny of Gaia. According to Hesiod, Gaia had many children after mating with Uranus, including the first generation of Titans, the Cyclopes, and the Hundred-Handers. Uranus, on the other hand, despised his children and imprisoned them within Gaia as soon as they were born, causing her great anguish. As a result, Gaia fashioned an adamant sickle for Cronus, the youngest of her Titan sons, and concealed him to await ambush. Cronus castrated his father when Uranus came to lay with Gaia, and the bloody drops that gushed forth were received, and as the seasons moved round, she bore the great giants. These same drops of blood gave birth to the Erinyes and the Meliu, while Uranus's severed genitals fell into the sea, resulting in a white froth from which Aphrodite sprang. The mythographer Apollodorus likewise attributes the giants to Gaia and Uranus. However, he makes no mention of Uranus' castration, only stating that Gaia, vexed because of the Titans, brought forth the giants. The Gigantes are mentioned 3 times in Homer's Odyssey, though it's unclear if Homer and Hesiod interpreted the phrase to mean the same thing. Homer attributes the giants as the forebears of the Phaeacians, a race of men encountered by Odysseus, with Alcinous, their ruler, being the son of Nausithous, the son of Poseidon, and Periboea, the daughter of the giant king Eurymedon. Alcinous claims elsewhere in the Odyssey that the Phaeacians, like the Cyclopes and the giants, are near kin to the gods. Odysseus compares the Lastrygonians to giants rather than mankind. Pausanias, a geographer who lived in the 2nd century AD, interpreted these lines from Homer's Odyssey to suggest that the giants were a race of mortal men. Though different in early traditions, Hellenistic and later writers frequently confused or conflated the giants in their Gigantomachy with the Titans in their conflict with the Olympian gods, the Titanomachy. The Alaudo, the large, strong, and aggressive brothers Otis and Ephialtes piled Pelion on top of Assa in order to scale the heavens and attack the Olympians. In his list of giants, Hyginus, for example, contains the names of 3 Titans, Coeus, Iapetus, and Astraeus, as well as Typhon and the Alaude, while Ovid appears to combine the Gigantomachy with the later siege of Olympus by the Alaude. Ovid also appears to mix up the Hundred-Handers and the giants, to whom he assigns 100 arms. So apparently, do Callimachus and Philostratus, because they both attribute earthquakes to Aegean, as was widely said about the giants. Mythology. Homer depicts Eurymedon, the giant king, as great-hearted and his people as insolent and froward. The giants are described as strong and great by Hesiod, which may or may not be a reference to their stature. The giants are born with gleaming armor, holding long spears in their hands, according to the theogony. Other early records describe the giants as being characterized by their excesses. Pindar portrays the giant Porphyrian's excessive violence as having provoked him beyond all measure. Bacchylides describes the giants as haughty, claiming that they were destroyed by hybris. Alcman, a poet from the 7th century BC, may have used the giants as an example of hubris, with the phrases vengeance of the gods and they suffered unforgettable punishments for the evil they did, possibly referring to the Gigantomachy. Homer's comparison of the giants to the Lastrygonians suggests that the 2 races share characteristics. The Lastrygonians, who hurled rocks as huge as a man could lift, had great power and possibly great stature, as their king's wife is described as being the size of a mountain. Descriptions of the giants have become less human, more monstrous, and more gigantic over time. According to Apollodorus, the giants were enormous in size and strength, with long hair and beards and scaly feet. Ovid describes them as serpent-footed with 100 arms, whereas Nonnus describes them as serpent-haired. The Gigantomachy, the war for dominion of the cosmos between the giants and the Olympian gods, was the most prominent divine combat in Greek mythology. The giants are best known for this conflict, and its significance in Greek culture is evidenced by the Gigantomachy's frequent representation in Greek art. There are few allusions to the Gigantomachy in archaic sources. Neither Homer nor Hesiod make any clear reference to the giants battling the gods. Homer's remark that Eurymedon brought destruction on his froward people may refer to the Gigantomachy, and Hesiod's remark that Heracles performed a great work among the immortals is most likely a reference to Heracles' essential role in the gods' victory over the giants. Following accounts of Heracles' sacks of Troy and Kos, the Hesiodic catalogue of women refers to him having slaughtered presumptuous giants. In the catalogue, Zeus creates Heracles to be a protector against ruin for gods and men. There are hints that there was a lost epic poem, a Gigantomachia, that told the story of the war. The Muses sing of the giants according to Hesiod's Theogony, while the 6th century BC poet Xenophon lists the Gigantomachy as a subject to avoid at the table. The Apollonius Scholia mentions a Gigantomachia, in which the Titan Cronus fathers the centaur Chiron by mating with Philaera. Although the scholiast may be mixing up titans and giants, other putative ancient sources are the lyric poets Alcman and Ibycus of the 6th century. The lyric poet Pindar of the late 6th and early 5th centuries BC provides some of the earliest details about the conflict between the giants and the Olympians. He finds it on the plain of Phlegra, and Tiresias predicts Heracles will kill giants beneath his rushing arrows. He refers to Heracles as you, who subdued the giants, and depicts Porphyrion as the king of the giants being defeated by Apollo's bow. In Euripides' Heracles, the hero shoots giants with arrows, and in Ion, the chorus describes seeing a depiction of the Gigantomachy on the late 6th century temple of Apollo at Delphi, with Athena fighting the giant Enceladus with her Gorgon shield, Zeus burning the giant Mimas with his mighty thunderbolt blazing at both ends, and Dionysus killing an unnamed giant with his Apollonius of Rhodes. Writing in the early 3rd century BC, recalls an incident in which the sun god Helios transports Hephaestus, tired from the battle in Phlegra, on his chariot. The mythographer Apollodorus provided the most thorough account of the Gigantomachy. There are no explanations given for the war in any of the early sources. The rape of Hera by the giant Eurymedon is mentioned in Scholia to the Iliad, whereas the robbery of Helios' livestock by the giant Alcyoneus is mentioned in Scholia to Pindar's Isthmian 6. Apollodorus, who also recalls Alcyoneus stealing Helios' livestock, believes that the conflict was motivated by a mother's vengeance, claiming that Gaia bore the giants as a result of her rage at the Titans. The giants appear to start throwing rocks and burning oaks at the sky as soon as they are born. A prophecy stated that the giants could not be killed by the gods alone, but could be killed with the assistance of a mortal. Hearing this, Gaia went in search of a plant that might safeguard the giants. Before Gaia or anyone else could find this plant, Zeus stopped Eos, Selene, and Helios from shining, harvested the entire plant himself, and then summoned Heracles through Athena. According to Apollodorus, the two strongest giants were Alcyoneus and Porphyrion. Heracles shot Alcyoneus, who died but was resurrected because Alcyoneus was immortal in his own nation. So, on Athena's guidance, Heracles took Alcyoneus beyond the bounds of that land where he died. Porphyrion attacked Heracles and Hera, but Zeus made Porphyrion fall in love with Hera, whom he then tried to rape, but Zeus struck Porphyrion with his thunderbolt and Heracles killed him with an arrow. That's a wrap on the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.